A very good evening. On behalf of Meditation Magic, I welcome each and every one of you this Tuesday evening to yet another beautiful session with an amazing master. So before we begin, today I would like to take this opportunity to announce the launch of our new YouTube channel, Magic of Meditation. We have uploaded a few videos already, and we would love for you to check these out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We have a YouTube team dedicated to this and who will be working on our YouTube channel. In a minute, I will add the link to the chat window. So let us move ahead with our session for today. We have a wonderful speaker today. Naresh Kumar Lingampally lives in Aubrey, Texas, and works in IT. He was introduced to PSSM by his wife Aruna during MMS 1. Along with their children Kartikeya and Meenakshi, their family has embraced meditation. Narish is an active PSSM volunteer supporting technical teams at events. His goal is to enhance PSSM's digital presence and reach more meditators through high-quality content. He will be talking about routine to a radiant life today. A huge welcome, Naresh, and over to you.
Thank you, Mrinalaji. Thank you very much. Hello, Masters. So I hope I'm audible. Perfect. I know today's topic is routine to radiant life. We're talking about something on how meditation impacts or influences our day-to-day life, or how did it impact my life, right? So where did I start? Where am I right now? And uh, I would talk about more about it, right? Perfect. Just give me something. It's okay. Thank you. Just want to talk about myself. I'm born and brought up in a small town called Armoor, which is in Nizamabad district, and I'm living for the last 7 to 8 years. I'm in US. It took around 30 to 35 years for me to really kind of get uh, introduced to meditation. I think I took a long time. I feel like I've kind of I wasted a lot of time for me to get a trigger about meditation. Um, in a simple word, right? So all of us, most of us are working in a IT world or non-IT world. Any professional or non-professional at this age, 30 to 35, most of us would be in a autopilot mode, right? So what is your autopilot mode is you have a routine which dictates your day-to-day life. Maybe if you're uh, health enthusiastic, you would start your day with some maybe some exercises, yoga or anything, and you would greet your uh, you know family, start your work, and right after you start your work, I don't think any of us remember anything after that. By the time you go to bed, everything is in autopilot mode. So that's something most of us do not realize. And I think it took that meditation helped me realize that autopilot mode, right? So I still remember that most of my decisions were based on the my brain was controlling most of the thing. My thoughts were controlling most of the thing. My emotions were source for my decisions. Uh, everything was out of control. I would say the stress decided what kind of decisions would I take and how my mood swings would be. This is uh, this is a regular thing for most of us. Now, post meditation, I think after I started meditating, I took a pause, understood that hey, you know what, you were on an autopilot mode. It's not you, it's your stress, emotions, or something else deciding or helping or influencing your decisions. So now it is different. It is no longer an autopilot mode. I'm talking about something which is conscious. You know you are in your presence. You don't really kind of go back to your past or think about your future when you take a decision right now. So if someone asked me, uh, how did meditation help you? I would say that I'm out of that autopilot mode and I'm on a conscious mode right now. So I would say that I can proudly talk about, yes, I'm no longer uh, influenced by my stress, or there is nothing like, you know, there's nothing like something which I don't desire, and something uh, that is controlling my decisions in a day-to-day life. So uh, it all started with, obviously most of us would agree to that, right? So your spouse at home will have, you know, they might have started the journey like others. My wife started her spiritual journey way before me. She has been practicing a lot of religious, non-religious, and finally learned about Patriji PSSM. And then she was much more attracted to PSSM, about meditation, and this movement. It took around a year for me to really kind of understand what she's going through, what kind of growth she has been experiencing. Because most of us talk about spirituality being a journey, but I have a separate definition for that. Spirituality is your growth. So we should always think about your spiritual growth, not like a spirituality as a journey going from point A to point B. It is you, it is about you. Everything is about you out there. My wife started meditating. Her name is Aruna, and my kids followed her. I had no clue about what was happening with them, what were they doing, because I was so much into that autopilot mode. And when they announced, my wife, when she has finally announced that she's going to turn a vegetarian, I thought this is one other episode that I've seen with her spiritual journeys with other practices, and if she might come back. She has declared that she's going to be a vegetarian, and 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it just continued like that, and eventually my kids followed her. And I was still a non-vegetarian, non-meditative. uh, it's like I've become the black sheep of the family, where your wife, your kids has been practicing meditation, has been practicing vegetarianism, and I'm trying to really kind of deviate from the path that is being shown to me. I still remember that when my kids were trying to make a pact, kind of they're trying to convince me that at least once in a week we want to go out, and they don't want me to see eating non-vegetarian. So I think that moved a lot. So that was the trigger point for me. And eventually my wife started using a lot of tools and techniques that she's been getting from the senior masters to influence me into spirituality, to influence me into meditation. We still have a pyramid that she built, and she believed that, or even in fact I believe it right now too, that she used to store the water, the grains that she's going to cook for the next day and everything under a pyramid. And she restricted me to drink only that water. She made sure that I'm eating the food which was prepared by the grains that were soaked under the pyramid. And it went on like that, and it worked. So one fine day, with no influence, I've naturally declared that I will try meditation. I started meditating. It was a beautiful experience. I don't want to talk about what did I experience, but I want to talk about how did meditation influence me after that, right? So everyone will have that trigger. Everyone will have those call outs in your day to day life. That call out might come from your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, or anyone. I think we should be in a right place in front of a right person to really kind of understand that and take your spiritual path. So my family were my triggers, and I got a call, and then I think I picked up the right path right now. So when I started meditating, as I was talking about the autopilot mode. right? We're all in the autopilot mode. And when I started meditating, I've understood that there is something called inner peace. So I work in an IT industry. As always, we have deadlines, we have people to please, we have appearances, so that you have to kind of demonstrate the best attitude out of whatever you're presenting, and everything is for the outer world, right? So you have to please your boss, you have to please your client, you have to fill your sheets or the deadlines that you get. So everything was different. So the moment I started meditating, I've noticed a small change. So that whatever the period that I've taken for meditation, the first 1 week was different. That first 1 week was absolutely different, and I volunteered myself to try more and more time to meditate. Now the best part about it is, um, Patriji, with his knowledge and with his years, and with his experience, I don't know how many countless incarnation he might have taken to really kind of teach us the easiest way to meditate, right? So I don't have to do a lot. All I have to do is sit in a comfortable position, you know, close my, clasp my fingers, cross my legs, and close my eyes. Now, how hard it can be to do that, right? So I started practicing, and trust me, in the first 1 2 months, I don't think there was a drastic change that I have seen, but I felt calm, peace, happy when I was meditating. Now, I was very shy to really kind of share my experiences when my wife Aruna used to ask, "What do you see when you're meditating? How do you feel?" I felt good, but being a critic in the family, always criticizing her that, whatever the spiritual practices that she was going through, I was really ashamed to tell her that I was feeling good, right? You have that ego or the pride that would always come up. And eventually, she started working with PSSM. She involved herself in a lot of service activities. So one fine day, I get a call from one of my friend asking me to see if I can support one of the PSSM's events, uh, which is titled as MMS, Mega Meditation Summit. And my wife was working for something else. She said she was working for DMC, which is Dhyana Mahachakram. Now I do not know what is MMS. She or DMC. Does not know what is MMS. Right. So it's a terminology difference that you see. She has been working with senior masters from India, from you within US, who started calling this event as DMCA, and the people who kind of approached me for photography and videography is more like, okay, this is called MMS. We never crossed the paths, and we have learned that both of them, me and my wife, have been working for the same event. So it is Mega Meditation Summit, is nothing but Dhyana Mahachakram. That's what we call in India, during a video call, because the people, the masters whom I'm working with recognized me in a video call when I was just walking behind her during her regular calls, and then it was kind of a shocking to me that we have been working for the same cause, and I think I've understood that I got the maturity at least to understand that there is something we both are called for a same event, and I really need to pay attention to it. So MMS one was an eye opener for me. First of all, that was the that's when I've been introduced to the PSS movement. I've seen the community, I've seen the masters, I've seen the volunteers, I've seen the selfless service that anyone can offer. I haven't seen a difference between a master who is 20 years old or 50 years old or 60 years old, irrespective of their age, their status, their language that they speak. Everyone were carrying the same energy. And me being a new meditator, in the first half of the first day, I felt everything was like little superstitious, right? So you're talking everything like supernatural, cosmic energy, third eye visions and everything, I really could not sink in much. But by the end of the meditation, by the end of that event, I was convinced myself that yes, I started meditating. I'm feeling a certain energy. I'm feeling certain peace. Inner peace is what you can call out. That 30 minutes or 60 minutes of meditation that I've been doing is a real thing, and all these people have been experiencing for the past 5 years, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, and everything. Um, that's when I've learned that when you start meditating, try to discipline yourself to a specific time, to a specific spot at your house. That discipline would let you meditate, right? You might meditate for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. It's immaterial, but you create a discipline in your day to day life. Now, how did this impact me, right? Uh, let me divide what happens when someone like a normal person like me, who is a regular guy, who has a proper social life, proper career, and we always have a work phase and a personal phase, right? So when you go to the work, you carry a certain attitude in the work phase, and when you are with your personal friends and family, you have a different attitude. So the first thing that I've understood is you take a pause, right? If there is something happening, you're exposed to certain situation at work, you take a pause, you listen, you understand, and then you take a decision, which was not happening before. So when I started meditating, the first important step, important decision that I've taken was to continue meditation with a discipline. It took a long time for me to get that discipline. And like I've declared that I want to meditate, I've declared that I'll stop eating non-veg. So I became a vegetarian. Now this is where the fun begins, right? All these days, it's a matter of 30 minutes or 1 hour that you meditate, and everything would be better. Like you can definitely take that 30 minutes or 1 hour of time in your day-to-day life. Everything is good. But when I got this intuition of stopping the eating meat and practicing vegetarianism, that was a very big change for me. Now, this was a question a lot of people ask me, and this is what happens. So, first, it's not me who was not accepting my decision. My friends, my family were not in acceptance that I've taken this decision that I'll stop eating meat. Now, we can convince people, which is okay. But think about this. The first month was so critical for me that even if I open my mobile and run through the social media, all I was looking were this, with these influencers talking about the different kind of restaurants, foods, all the local things and everything coming up. I felt like, I was so tempted the first 30 days that I couldn't resist myself. Um, the best thing is the foundation of everything, the decisions that I'm taking is meditating, right? The sadhana is in place. Now, I think that sadhana helped me to realize that I am asking for I'm craving for that particular non-veg or meat or the likings or dislikings that I had in the past, and that thought is pulling me towards the social media. When I scroll every time, I get that. So within a month, my friends were convinced that he will come back in 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months time. But the social media was definitely not convinced, right? So within a month, I've understood that I should stop looking at social media, and I took a very small social media diet for like 5 days. I don't watch any videos, no Insta, no Facebook, nothing on that. And that 5 days made me realize that after after I stopped eating meat, my meditation time has increased, right? And then I'm able to connect better. I'm able to meditate uh, without any effort, as in I don't have to really kind of ease up or train my mind 10-15 minutes before, or try to avoid the distractions that I have for me to sit for meditation. Things have changed by that. Now, two decisions, right? One is I'll have a discipline to meditate. Two is I'll practice vegetarianism. Now, please note that until then, I have no idea about what Patriji is saying, what different knowledge or wisdom that we have in the system, and how other masters are really experiencing, right? By this time, I'm already about 4 to 5 months into meditation, and I sit down one day and try to understand what has changed since I started meditation. What has changed since I have decided to go, uh, you know, a vegetarian, to be a vegetarian. Well, that's the interesting part, that I've realized that uh, without my intervention, I've seen that like-minded people started attracting, right? So I've seen certain friends. I'm not able to communicate with them. They are out of the circle. I got new friends coming in within my circle, and the conversations were much more better. I started having meaningful conversations. We don't have to really kind of look for people just to pass the time, have you know have unmeaningful non conversations which doesn't make any sense or anything at the point of thing. That's the first thing that I've seen. Now, when you have like-minded people, doesn't have to be people who are meditators, doesn't have to be people who are only vegetarians, right? The universe started connecting me to the people who will help me grow, right? That's the first thing that you will understand. The second thing is the decisions that you take. I started taking responsibility of whatever decision that I take, right? There might be some kind of blaming that could happen, that I've taken a wrong decision, or you know um, I'm not getting what I'm desiring to be there. But the second change that I've seen was, uh, everything is falling in line, as in universe is working for you, right? Once it is giving me the right set of people to really communicate, to socialize and everything, your day-to-day life has become so easy that you are able to manage your the chores or the office work and everything together. Now I no longer have a separate phase. Like I don't have a work phase and a personal phase together. Everything is kind of coming together. And the best thing is you don't have to really uh, look for or work for someone else. So I've started taking decisions for myself. I don't want to. I stopped working for people, trying to impress other people, or maybe um, you know do something which is pleasing someone else, right? That's a clarity of thought that I got. Definitely my health is impacted positively, for sure. It just started like that. From there, the clarity of thought changes. You will start looking at a proper channel of socializing onto that. What you're responsible for. And that's when I've tried to understand, okay, I need to go a little deeper onto it. And I really felt like the first 5 to 6 months was only on the surface level. I was doing it because there is a certain pleasure that you get when you meditate. I'm calling it pleasure. It might be a negative word, but that's how I see it. I feel good, right? I feel good, and I want that kind of sensation when I meditate, and I was craving for that. And it went on, and I stopped vegetarian, and it has been a talk of the town, right? Everywhere I go, I used to talk a lot about how I became a vegetarian, and it just on the surface level it started. That's when I started working with more masters. I got introduced to senior masters. They started guiding me correctly, right? Now I was introduced to Swadhyaya. Now Swadhyaya is where which will encourage you to read spiritual books, the right spiritual books, right? As I started reading more and more books, now everything started making sense to me. And it's not like I read a ton of books, right? I might have read handful of books, like the Four Agreements, or the Celestine Prophecy, or I'm reading the Bringers of Dawn right now. So all these things started giving me a certain perspective. The knowledge that is written by these authors on the book is definitely is will give you that maturity, that particular perspective, and you start connecting those teachings in your day-to-day life, right? So now that's when I've realized that, I don't have to really kind of feel stressed out for any situation that you feel. You can always stop, take a pause, analyze the situation, understand what you have learned or what your intuition is saying. Now this is where to a stage where you start trusting your intuitions, right? Now when you start trusting your intuitions, you want to play with it, right? So your intuition says something, you take a decision based on your intuition. It might fail, it might succeed. Whatever you fail, whenever you fail, you get into that. Now when I started doing this, as I said, the first time when I've declared that I'm going to be a meditator, my friends, my family were not in acceptance with that. When I've declared that I want to be a vegetarian, my social media profile did not accept that. Now I want to talk more about it. It's been 6 months that I started practicing both, and there is a lot of change that I can see. Now my I started understanding there is a kind of resistance that I could see from my colleagues. Now my colleagues started making fun of me, right? "Hey, what is this meditation? What is this vegetarian? We don't, that's not the lifestyle that we are here. We worked hard to build our careers, and we worked hard to really kind of move from India to the Americas, and there is a lot happening in Americas. You're missing a lot, right?" And the same crowd who was criticizing me, who was looking me as a different person, started observing me. And as they started observing me, when I'm in a group, they might make fun of me, which I allowed for a change, because I was never a person that I would take any criticism, or especially if someone's trying to make a fun, I was very quick to respond. But this was not the case right now. The same crowd who started making fun of me started reaching out to me individually, right? And this individual crowd are my friends, were my friends, are still are my friends. Then they started asking me, "What do you do? How is your schedule?" And the breaking point for them was, I still remember, I might have said this to more than 20 people, right? They asked me, "Narish, what change did you see in your life after you started meditating?" And on a very lighter note, I used to tell them that, it's been close to 6 to 8 months. The first change that I've seen is I stopped fighting with my wife. We no longer have disagreements. And they really took it light. They were like, "No, you're just pulling our legs." I said, it's true, right? She is a meditator. She tried to show me the way, and I was resisting it. That's where we had difference of opinions. I started meditating. I know what she's going through, and we know, both of us are taking decisions in a timely manner and in a very, sensual way. So we no longer have the X number of disagreements that you might have in a day, in a week, in a month. So we stopped fighting, and we have understood what soul plan is. We have understood there is a purpose for every soul that we come here. And the best learning for me when I started learning more about the wisdom through the books and everything was, uh, it is not coincidence that you marry a person or you are in a relationship with any person, right? uh, the soul plan would be in such a way that you would request the other soul to be a part of your life, so that they can remind you about what you're supposed to do in this incarnation, in this janma. And that's when you see most of the spouses fighting, right? It might be the wife talking to the husband, or the husband talking to the wife, trying to show them the way, and they get into a disagreement, and then they start fighting, right? So I gave them the same reason. They liked it, and that's a fact. We are not cooking up anything. We are not trying to impress them. We are telling them the fact. The second thing that I've understood is, my kids have shown me a lot of discipline in my life. uh, Most of the time we talk about, your parents should, whatever the parent does, the kid would look at it and will learn about it, right? So it's a different case for me. I started observing my kids. Every day they start their day, they get ready, they meditate for 5 to 10 minutes before they go to school. Now I felt very good. that I can proudly talk about this, and I started sharing that too, right? That's a second thought that has come up. And I think most of them are in agreement right now, right? Most of them, uh, whoever had made fun, whoever made in the work life, right? So they've understood, and we started talking about how can we make our workplace a stress-free workplace, right? And that's the first change that I've seen. When you have a stress-free workplace, when you give that respect to your colleagues, individuals, whomever you're working with, when you get the same kind of respect, everything falls in line. Now, when the workplace is falling in line, that would start influencing your personal life too, right? People think that they don't coexist. We talk about work life balance. There is nothing like work life balance. It is about how you take it, it's about how you react to things. Now, so within a year, everything has changed. My work life is beautiful. I have a new perspective every time I take decisions, and my intuition is helping me take the right decisions. And my sadhana is empowering my mind as much as possible, right? So then came one of the then came the opportunity to uh, start working on more service, spiritual service. So as it went through MMS 1 till MMS 2, everything has changed for me, right? So I spoke about my work life, and on the personal life, um, there is and there was always people whom we are trying to please, right? Or whom we are trying to hate, whom we hate or whom we love. There's a lot of love-hate relationship in your personal life, your brother, your relations, your mother-in-law, father-in-law, or anything that might be, right? So now that has that has kind of taken a different route for me. Now I started learning about um how to really kind of influence your own family, right? The moment I told my mom that I stopped eating non-veg, she thought something is happening with my life, something wrong is happening with my life, because I come from a I hail from Telangana region, and eating non-veg is a part and parcel of everything, right? From birth to death, we celebrate everything with meat, as a point of it, right? So I was so hesitant to talk to my mom to tell about that I've turned vegetarian. I started meditating, and one fine day I broke the news to them that I stopped eating vegetarian and I stopped eating non-veg, and it again, nothing much I've expected. Even though they didn't react on my face, but there were a lot of information that I gathered, that they were a little worried about me not eating non-veg and what's happening out in the states. Is there any problem that's happening? It took me more than 2 to 3 months after that I wanted to make them practice uh, meditation. It took me an hour for me to get the courage and tell him that, why don't you guys meditate? Surprisingly, as soon as I said that I want you guys to meditate, there was no resistance from them. They just said, yes, we'll meditate with you. And we started meditating. Couple of my brother joined me, my mother joined, couple of cousins started meditating with us, and I was so surprised. you know there is one saying, I don't know how many of you guys have read the book, the Four Agreements, Toltec Four Agreements. One of the agreements says don't make assumptions, right? So I think I was doing that. Now that gave me a very strong confirmation that I should start learning more. I should start applying the learnings that I have through these books in my day-to-day life, right? So it's been close to about 2 years, or I would say 1.5 to 2 years, that I started meditating. And the changes that I want to really kind of list out is one, I'm a different person right now. I have a very healthy social life. I I'm confident in terms of what decisions am I making. I do not know any situation in the past 2 to 3 months that the stress made my uh, influence my mood swings, or I don't see there were stress situations. I wouldn't say that I've I've completely conquered the point of stress, but there is there. It will take some time. A few of them asked, is it kind of, how is it influencing your financial situations when you meditate, right? And I did experience. I've manifested a lot of things. That manifestations did come to reality. Financially, a lot happened. We did manifested a lot of events with nothing in our hand. We were able to deliver a lot of events. For example, recently we have completed becoming a master. Started with $0. The universe has given me an opportunity to secure some money, some funds to drive the events. And we have not asked, not many people, maybe we have asked handful of them if they want to be a part of, contribute to this particular event, and surprisingly we have received a lot of response from the masters. Involuntarily, voluntarily, it doesn't matter. Money is just an energy, right? You have to understand the universe, and the universe is always working for you. So the routine to radiance is nothing but you are in presence. You understand that it is not what you desire, but it is what universe has planned for you, for this particular soul plan. And everything is working for you. You are not working for anything. If you are, you have to trust in those energies, you have to trust in yourself, you will have a very strong intuition, and you'll have a matured mind reading through all the books, listening to all the masters, their experiences. There is no place for ego, right? There is no place for ego. That itself is radiance. What else do we need? I don't think we need to demonstrate any kind of miracles in this time period of our life, that I've changed. I don't need to be uh, trying to impress someone, or try to really kind of publicize something, right? You go with the flow, and universe is always with you. That's the radiance that you would experience once you start your spiritual journey. Sorry, spiritual growth. Thank you.